right, welcome back to No Apologies Necessary. I last episode I talked about what we'd be getting into now. Um, what I want to get into today is a kind of a overall gist of the way I see race, sexuality, gender, religion, and politics all kind of mesh together to create our society, whether it be our day-to-day lives, big picture lives, end game, stuff like that. It affects every little minute detail of our lives, all of these factors. And so to start this off, I want to first start saying with the idea that I've heard over the last couple of months this phrase of safe space, whether it be like coffee shops or just privately owned independent companies that you have this safe space to go to and nobody's going to bother you. But the reality is that it's only safe if you believe in what they believe in. It's safe. So I want to create the honest space. We can all just be honest here together. That's why your comments and emails will really be the fun in all of this. Right now, I just narrate some ideas and theories I have of what, I think we can do better on. But I mean, if you don't agree with me, if you do agree with me, let's collaborate. Let's put our minds together. That's what this is all about. So here's to the honest space of talking about some of this stuff, because what I'm about to talk to about is very touchy stuff. So I want to talk about, over the next several episodes, I'm going to break these down independently and talk about one of these topics at a time. But what we are going to be talking about will be race, gender, sexuality, and religion. We've already talked about politics, and so I don't want to beat that to death. This isn't a political show. This is a show about society and a point of view that I have, and maybe others share it. And if not, let's talk about that too. So I think that all of these independent groups, they spend so much time creating this stance, this acceptance into society, and it's not needed. It muddies the water of their entire idea of what they want to accomplish. No matter what it is, whether it be religion, whether it be race, gender, sexuality, the four things that we're going to talk about, we've gotten to a point in society where, I don't know if it's a gender thing, maybe we could talk about the fact that in the early 90s, mid 90s, the internet boom, where both parents all of a sudden started working. Kids were either latchkey kids or raised by strangers. Maybe they didn't get enough loving from mom and dad. Who knows? There's people that don't even know their parents that are perfectly accepted because they have a good group of people around them. And I think that's what matters. Like, family is just the people that put you back on track. It doesn't have to be blood. But with that said, the only conclusion that I can come to when somebody feels the necessity to go above and beyond to let me know whatever their religion might be, sexuality, gender, well, when I say gender, it's more of like the gender I'm supposed to associate you as, even though I don't even know who you are. But gender, okay? And everybody has the right to it, but I also have my right to the opinion of it. And then, race. Well, I don't know, maybe I said race, religion. I think I started with religion. So you got religion, sexuality, gender, and race. So those are the four things. And then we have politics out here, but politics, I think, are more just completely affected by these four things in society. So, like I said, I do want to break down each one of these categories independently and spend some serious time talking about them. But today, I just want to go over during this episode what my beliefs are behind just the concept of what we're going to be talking about. All right. So, I grew up in California, Northern California, and my parents, they weren't out there hippies, but they definitely believed that everybody should be treated as they treat you. And we were as children, pretty blinded to there being, differences amongst people. It was just their character, their integrity, their morals, how they treated you, how they treated others. That's really the only value system we had to people growing up. Up until I was old enough to where I started seeing these things in society, that I realized how much how hard my parents tried to make sure that we didn't feel that way. We didn't judge people in that way. I now live on the East Coast, which, just two different parts of the country. Definitely the coast, a bit different than the middle of America. But I've seen a lot of different spectrums of the demographics across the United States. And the one thing that I've really internalized and observed is people that are completely comfortable with themselves have no reason to let me know what religion they are, what race they are, what sexuality they are, what gender they are. They're who they are. They're proud of who they are. And, I apologize, not for me, this is no apologies necessary, that I think when I say apology, I more mean I'm sorry and sad for the fact that our society has made these individuals. We are products of our environment. They've made these individuals feel that they need to overcompensate. They need to be accepted for who they are. Man, you're just who you are, okay? Let me give you an example. I was starting preschool, I believe. It was like the year right before kindergarten. And my parents took me to Stride Ride shoes. And I picked out these. I was with my mom and my dad. I think my brother was either just not yet born or maybe like an infant. But he definitely wasn't part of the conversation. I think I was 4. I think it was right before he was born. And so we go to Stride Ride shoes. My parents say, "Oh yeah, pick out whatever shoes you want," And I was like, "Yeah, okay, right on." So I pick out this double Velcro strap, pink shoe with rainbows on the sides. No joke. My parents still have these in some box up in the attic, the keepsakes, right? And my mom looks at me and goes, "Oh, Matthew, those are girls' shoes." And I was like, "Yeah." And my dad immediately jumps in and goes, "Well, if that's what he wants, that's what he's going to get, because that's what he likes." And from the time that I was 4 years old, that was instilled in me, is that it doesn't matter what people think about you. It doesn't matter what it should mean to society of what you're wearing, how you're doing, what you're acting like. You should just like you for who you are and feel accepted by the people around you, blood or not. They're the people that appreciate you and love you. That's what matters. They're willing to be honest with you, when you're acting out of line. Those are the people that matter, in life. But so with that said, I want to get into the whole idea of what I do believe about why I keep talking about bringing these groups together, is that I do believe that growing up in the environment that I've grown up in, and then in my adult life growing up in a different environment, is that neither of them are different in the sense that there's still people in every social category of life that feel the need to be accepted. And I think it's super sad that people need to feel accepted. They need to feel accepted. Who didn't accept them for them to feel this need of acceptance? So, what I mean by this is that I am obviously Caucasian, but I'm not. I'm actually American Indian, Italian, and slightly Irish. So I don't believe in checking the box that says Caucasian, not because I'm trying to go against things, but I mean, what is Caucasian? What is that? That should say mutt. Are you a mutt? Yeah, I'm a mutt. I mean, at this day and age, there's no such thing as a purebred human being. And the purebred animals that we get, you pay $2,000 for a purebred Labrador, and it's probably inbred, and it's going to have tumors in 5 years. I mean, Jesus, right? So it's race to me. Yeah, I don't know that we can all just categorize ourselves in race. And I've never been racist a day in my life, but I absolutely have witnessed racism towards me because of the way I look, and I couldn't care less what race you are. I don't care. You treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. Yeah, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I don't even see that. Okay, homosexuality, LGBTQ, the whole gender thing. Like, I mean, come on, guys. Like, guys, girls, that he, them, she, what? I mean, if, who, to it. I mean, it's safer to call somebody it, or hey you, than it is to call them by name. I mean, you might, or refer to them as what you observe in front of you, a woman or a man, and you say, hey, you might help me over here, dude, or you might help me over here, girl. Like, I mean, geez, like, how are we supposed to know these things, okay? And the mere fact that you need that acceptance level is alarming. It's alarming. It's more of like we should all be in like counseling together and talk about it. That's what I want No Apologies Necessary to be, is that I'm not here to apologize. I'm here to talk about it. Like, let's dig in deep, So we got the gender thing, we got sexuality. I mean, sexuality, that's a whole nother thing. Like okay, let me put it a little bit less controversial. Let's just talk about vegetarians for a second. Okay, vegetarians. I worked at a store that dealt with a lot of vegan, vegetarian food. It's all better for you, because it doesn't have tendons and protein meat in it and stuff like that. And that's fine. To each their own. They can eat whatever they want. But I do find it slightly hypocritical to think that why would you want to eat a taco meat that's called beefless beef, that's made to be the texture of beef, tastes like beef, feel like beef in your mouth, even though people that eat the ground beef know it ain't nothing even similar to ground beef. But they have chickenless chicken, beefless beef. They call it, they just had to ban this several years ago. They called it soy milk and almond milk. Like, come on, you don't milk a bean. So you're probably wondering, where am I going with this? But where I'm going with this is that, why does a vegetarian feel the necessity to replicate food that they do not want to eat? Okay, so let me take this a step farther. Here we go. This is No Apologies Necessary. Gloves off. Here we go. Why would a man that wants a man want a man that looks like a woman? Why would a woman that wants a woman want a woman that looks like a man? Now listen, I don't care if you're a woman that likes a woman, or a man that likes a man, or you're a woman that identifies yourself as a man and wants a female girlfriend, and you don't think it's lesbian. It's because of the way you identify yourself. Fine. But I would love to have somebody come on here with me and explain to me, maybe from the opposite end of the spectrum, and explain to me whether you're vegetarian or you're in this whole gender sexuality thing going on in our society. Please explain to me why you want to imitate the thing that you're saying you don't want. I would find that fascinating. Okay. Like I said, we're going to get into all these things independently. So, moving forward, race and religion. I think they both isolate themselves on their own island. That, you know, the righteousness of it in race. Yes, honestly, most races, if you're not just white skin, doesn't even matter your nationality, like I said, mine, you're automatically probably have an edge, and that's not okay. That's not okay. I've already talked about that. Episode 3 and 2 about the electoral college. It's all bunk. It's all junk that we should not be paying attention to. It shouldn't be a part of our system. It was based on just racial beliefs. I'm totally against it. But I'm equally against people completely isolating themselves and righteousness because of the hardships or whatever they've had. Like I you know what? Technically, I'm about as American Indian as I am Italian. And I gotta tell you, I would be glad if they just enslaved the Indians. I really would be. They'd still be around, you know? I mean, maybe they'd have some fames, you know, in our society, but instead, you know, who our ancestors that came over here and very nobly fought to get away from England's monarch system, which we've talked about is happening still. Again, all circular in history. But, you know, it's like the fight is over, okay? Yes, it happens. I've experienced being stereotyped as well, you know, and I'm not trying to play victim here at all. I'm just saying that everybody has the ability to do it. I think it's more about the presence you put into a situation that makes people either feel like they have to respond to you and accept you, or make sure that they're respecting you, you know, because of other outside things other than who you are as a person, the morals that you believe in, and the way you treat others, and the integrity you live by. That should all be that matters. And we're going to get way more into this. So next time, I'm not really sure which 4 topics to talk about. I'll tell you this, if I get some, if I do have somebody comment on one of the 4 topics, that is gender, sexuality, race, and religion, I will absolutely discuss those first, and I'd absolutely be willing to work out getting people involved in the dialogue with me while we're doing this. I don't have to be a solo act here. So I will talk to you guys soon. Next time we'll be getting into one of the 4. And thank you for tuning in to No Apologies Necessary. Looking forward to chatting with you guys next time. With that said, have a great night.